Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom! Hey everybody, it's Rail Andrews with Modern Day Champions, and man, do I have a guest for you today. Modern Day Champions is a show that I started where I just take ordinary people, just like you and me. The difference is they had a dream, they had a vision, they drew the line, they took action, and they just made it happen. They figured it out different. They become very successful, and they're giving back to the community. Today, our guest, I got to tell you, I just said, whenever you're ready, I'll make myself available. This is probably one of the most demanded coaches in the industry. I call him a prophet. I know people get weird about that, but I'll explain that later. You know, coach of the stars. This guy is changing lives. I got none other than Jeffery Combs. Jeffrey, are you there?
I am the Prophet, Real. Those are some interesting shoes. I'll spell Prophet, Profit.
Yeah, well, and Prophet, yeah, there you go. But I'll tell you, you know how I came up with that. I remember, Jeffrey, the first time, and then I want to just segue, but then I'll let you share your story. The first time, I was one of those things. I was coming home, I was late, I was tired, and then all of a sudden I get this message. It was actually from Carlotta Davis. She posted a thing, said, you got to jump on this call, put it in our leaders feed on our team. And I just was kind of half tired, and I clicked on it and I started listening, and man, it was like, I was like, this is like, you just blew my mind. And I just was listening. You were like a Baptist preacher. You just boom, 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 boom. And then the first time I talked to you, I remember I said, are you going from a script or something, or did you just roll? And you said, no, I just roll. And that's why I came up with because it was just like being in a Baptist church. You were just like, then, hey, this is Jeffery Combs, come back next week. And I was like, what just happened? It was crazy. So Jeffrey, if there's anybody out there who doesn't know you, tell us your story, where you came from, how you got to where you got.
Thank you, Real. It is my unequivocal privilege to be on this Zoom call with you, and I want to edify you for the exceptional business owner, actor, multipreneur, and first-class human being that you are. So my unequivocal privilege to be here. I'll give you a fist five, share a little space with you, my brother.
Thank you.
We come from, I can feel the street in you, just like you can feel it in me. You know, it's like that you get that street sense, that little edge that you keep playing on the rest of your life. A little bit about my background. I'm a Midwestern boy, grew up right outside of Omaha, Nebraska in southwest Iowa. I am the son of a Hall of Fame basketball coach. My parents are both highly educated, white-collar professionals. My grandfather was a millionaire on one side of my family, major landowner, and my grandfather on the other side of the family was a sharecropper. So I grew up with these two sets of grandparents and these two brilliant parents, and somehow I got lost in the shuffle of all that and ended up graduating and ended up hitting rock bottom over about a 14-year period of drug alcoholism. I was a top-tier high school basketball player, played college basketball, was a good student, but by 18, I was already on the edge of addiction. And I spent drinking myself to the bottom, and eventually I hit rock bottom in where you are, Los Angeles, California, up on 26th and Wilshire. Ended up hitting 3 parked cars with a quarter pound of cocaine and a blood alcohol content of 3.3. That was a bad trifecta. And that wasn't the end. I had another series of bottoms I hit, but I got clean and sober when I was 31 and began to turn my life around. And you know, Riel, in my mid-20s, I'd already been exposed to network marketing. This is way long time ago. So I was actually exposed to network marketing in 1975 and started my first company in 1985. So I've been a student of the industry for a long time and never really took it seriously until 1990. 1990, I started with Herbalife, a LA-based company there in Inglewood. Met the great Jim Rohn and Mark Hughes in 1990 and was really in that industry and was prepared to pay the price. I never had a job for most of my life, and I've been a serial entrepreneur, but I am not an overnight success. I spent my first 6 years, I made $200,000 in network marketing. You also have to take into context where the network marketing industry was in 1990 versus 2000 and soon to be 17. It's a completely different industry than when I started, but it was still a great industry. It wasn't difficult. It wasn't hard. It was what it was. And it wasn't quite as viable, but it was still a great way to learn the skills. So after 6 years of ups and downs, I turned the corner in network marketing in 1990 1996 and 7, and had a multiple 6 and then a 7-figure year. In 1998, I transitioned into coaching, speaking, and writing. The last 19 years, I've been coaching and speaking all over the United States. I routinely fly 155,000 air miles a year and coach 2,700 hours a year on any given year.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, because I know your schedule. So like I said, we're blessed. Now, Jeffrey, a lot of people, not a lot, like I know several people specifically that have come to you. Their careers were not really doing anything. They get coached by you and they become a 7-figure, industry or company. And you just really have a skill with people. So I want to jump right in. I mean, you've coached so many people. Is there a it factor that you recognize in these people you're coaching when they first come to you? Is there some certain qualities that people have that this person, once I get them right, they will be successful? Is there qualities people have?
Well, you bring up a great question. It's like, is it innate in people? It's like acting. What's the difference between Meryl Streep, who has numerous Academy Awards, versus someone who hits LA, was a Hollywood, or was a sorority queen, a homecoming queen, and a Miss Universe or whatever? What really separates exceptional from average? What really separates great? Well, it's there's no real black and white situation. But to edify your point, I have coached many people who have gone on to be successful. I'm not responsible for anyone's success. I'm responsible for the hours they hire me. So when people say, oh, he coached this person, I'm not responsible for their success. I'm responsible for the time I dedicate with them. And then they do what I am able to assist them to let go of. Now, here's what my specialty is, Rial. As a coach, I'm very skilled at cause and effect. I'm very skilled at predictions. So before anyone's ever going to be successful with me, I'm going to break down why they do what they do. Now, what happens in our brain is we become neurologically and emotionally addicted to a set of feelings, and we perpetuate those same set of feelings over and over to fulfill our feelings of disappointment and low self-esteem. So I've coached many people who are now 6- and 7-figure income earners who had the same challenges that anyone on the line or anyone on this call has had right now. Skilled and masterful at assisting people to understand cause and effect, why they do what they do. And not only am I good at it, but I have documentation beats conversation every time. So I'm not a millionaire maker or anything like that, but I'm really skilled at addictions. So if I can assist people to understand why they do what they do, and then keep their feelings from the events that shape them. So it looks like this, Rial. This would be your brain, and this would be your body. This would be, if you're in alignment, one with. That's where you're grounded. You're able to connect and tap into the universe. You're connected to God, deity, source. But here's where most people are. Their body runs the brain, and it's like this. So they're separate from, they're not one with. So that means that typically their body runs the brain. Now, I assist people to understand the events that shape their feelings. I'm able to assist them to be able to let go of the anxieties that keep them perpetuating a neurochemical addiction that keeps them emotionally addicted. This breaks down the phenomenon of overwhelmed, unorganized, undisciplined, and then the anxieties of anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, and overwhelmed feelings. Half of my clients have been molested, traumatized, abandoned, neglected. Their father didn't show up on Saturday to pick them up. So I assist people to let go. Now, here's what letting go means. It's the ability, and that's what it is. It's the skill, Rial, and you're learning yourself and you're living it. It's the ability to separate your feelings from the events that shape them. Now, autonomically, most people go, Rial, how do I? Well, it's not a how do I, it's an I am state. Feelings from the events that shape them. That is why I assist people to understand first, because that becomes their foundation. When you can separate your feelings, it's a new neural pathway, meaning that the neurons that are on fire aren't in an addicted brain anymore as you begin to separate those feelings. So a business of attraction like you are mastering, you must master the ability to master your emotions so you can attract people you can collaborate with. But if you feel less than, if you feel separate from, in low self-esteem, you're going to attract your reality. people and situations to fulfill your feelings. You cannot succeed by avoiding. I mean, that just doesn't fit in the box. So if you're a chronic avoider and you're rebelling against your own success, you're going to attract people that you physically, emotionally, and all the other situations that keep you disappointed. Does that resonate with you?
You know, it really does. And you said it several times. And I'm curious because I don't know, you know, I spent 7 years myself dancing with the devil in Hollywood. I went down that road myself, and I'm always curious. I was just talking with a friend today and saying that addictive personality that I had back then is the way I roll in what I do now. So if it wasn't what I'm doing now, you know, it's like when I was partying, I partied like it was my business. You know what I mean? It wasn't no 90%, it was 110. And we were, so is that because I'm hearing from you this addiction word all the time? Do you find that a lot of these people that you're coaching, and you kind of did say that just now, there's that they have that addictive kind of mindset or lifestyle?
Yes, but it's not. So let's take the word personality and break it down, because personality means your personal reality. That's what it means. So, and when I'm talking about addictions, I'm not talking about drugs and alcohol. I'm talking about the emotions, because it's emotions that drive your actions or your inactions. So if you're inactive, that means you're not in action, and that's what many people do, is they avoid. If you're a chronic avoider and a chronic starter, but you're not a finisher, then you're going to be disappointed. So that's the addiction that many people end up. They end up being disappointed, addicted to disappointed. And they don't really engage the process. They don't stay in the process long enough to understand the value of separating your feelings from an event. And if you require to build a business with leverage and keep attracting people who don't commit, well, part of that's going to be the 80% rule. But it's your 20%, and the 20% of the people in your team, if you don't have a 20% that's producing any volume, that's going to be a direct reflection of what you attract. Attraction is more than a law. Attraction is a science. Once you start to understand the basics of neuroscience of attraction, you can virtually on command decide you're going to go to a restaurant in Beverly Hills and have a parking space available for you, because that's a commitment, a decision, and a vision that you create before you ever get there. But if you have a separation between that outcome before you get there, well, you'll create the situation to, oh, this always happens to me. That's what so many people do. Their words don't match their beliefs. So they'll say they have a belief, but yet their words don't match it. So they're incongruent. They're separate from rather than one with. And if you speak a language that's not committed, so the American populace uses words like guess in mid-sentence, kinda, sorta, words that have no value, no meaning, no commitment. The most underused word in the English language is commit. And if you're not committing, you're not committed, or you can't commit, then you're interested. And when you're interested, you're going to attract your reality, other interested non-success seekers to fulfill your disappointment.
Man, dude, you just blowing my, I love it. I love it. You're so right on. So listen, like I said, I want to respect your time. I could talk to you forever. One, what's it, and I'm sure there's many, but the first thing pops in here, the biggest mistake people make. You know, I'm sure you've coached people and gave them the tool, but there's got to be, what's the biggest mistake you see people making that stops them from, you know, seeing the victory that they deserve and being everything they were created to be?
I'll give you two, all right? I'll give you a bonus one. Number one, very few people commit. They don't really know how to commit. They're interested, but they're not committed. They don't pay the price. They're not willing to give up now for later. Very few people are willing to pay the price. So you said that my schedule is hectic. Actually, my schedule is very productive because I'm willing to pay the price and I'm continuing to pay it. There's this big myth about freedom. So many people think that owning a business is going to give them freedom. It doesn't. Owning a business means you have an employee identification number, and now you're responsible for your own results, and you got to commit to learning the skills. So you have to learn to commit one day at a time while not being critical in that same day. If you can be committed one day without being critical of yourself, then you have your first day of sobriety. And then number two, a large percent of people that are in network marketing, direct sales, real estate, mortgages, free enterprise businesses, they go to events and they gain the knowledge, but they don't apply it. That's the most common situation that hinders people. By Monday, the spray paint on the rust wears off because they're not really committed. So it's not the seminar that's going to change your life. It's the application of the content that you deliver one day at a time that creates the compounded effect.
Wow. Powerful. So, Jeffrey, amazing. How do people get in touch with you? Do you have websites? I know you do the call. Tell us where they can get in touch with you, where they can listen to your calls, where you're next. I want people to be able to find you.
Thank you very much. Very simple way to get a hold of me, and I do offer free 15-minute coaching sessions. I have a very, very productive schedule, but I still manage to be able to offer people a free 15-minute session. I did one with you once. You can contact me on Facebook. You can inbox me with your phone number and why you'd like a free 15-minute call. It's no obligation. You don't have to hire me to experience it, but I guarantee you, if you experience it, you'll probably hire me. But you can contact me on Facebook. You can also call me direct. I'm one of those guys that do answer my phone. I'm old school. It's 209-932-0227, 209-932-0227. I answer my phone. I return my phone calls. I return emails. I return Facebook messages quick. Rial, thank you for having me on your call. You have a great day. I look forward to connecting with you.
You too. Thank you very much. You're a champion, Jeffrey. I love you. Peace. Oh, I got to count it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom!